He say, she say, we say, I say, hearing out them points of views when I see it my way. Yes it goes, yes it knows, maybe so's, probably not. Shoulds and coulds, do's and don'ts, your wills and won'ts is how you rock. Politicians and religions, on your house or are you renting? Is you married? Is you single? Meta interest when you mingle, turn out to be someone you into. So how long before the bed get wrinkled? Children when they tripping, is it time out or do you whip them? Opinions and decisions, hunches, intuitions, may or may not get it, cause people's experience different. Check the prejudice at the door. Speak the time you give the flow. Tell the truth if it's sweet or sour, cause the hour we spitting that fire.
Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Can y'all hear me? Let me see. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay. I can hear myself. I can hear myself. But yeah, we got to have this. You know. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Yeah, that's there we go. All right, we got him. We got him. Let me see. Why do everybody call me when I'm finna get on live? Why do everybody call me when I'm finna get on live? What the heck? All right. So, listen. We gonna do the previews and let the notifications go out, and then we gonna get into the main topic of the evening, which is superseding indictment by the government, right? And now, first of all, before I even get into this, I wanted to say there was a person who was I told you guys about the other day that did not align with my political views, and I said, okay, we have a difference of opinion in that. So they decided that they was going to flood all my other videos that's not dealing with politics to bully me to vote the way that they want to vote. They are the very reason that I think the way that I do, that I said what I said. That's why I played Kwame's video yesterday. They are the type of people that want to bully you into voting this way. You don't believe in the way that things should be ran, or you don't agree, but they want you to vote this way. So they're going to bully and go on my other threads and say a whole lot of other stuff that has nothing to do with politics. So I had to block and hide all their comments. And it broke my heart to have to do that. It really did. It really did. It broke my heart to have to do that. But I just had to do it. Like, you have to get over it. It's whether I voted for, if I voted for Kamala or not, it wasn't going to change the outcome of the election. And you can't bully the world. So, yeah, I had to do that. And it just hurt my heart. You know what I mean? Because I never wanted to do that with a subscriber, ever. Regardless of what, I never wanted to do that. But, anyways, getting to the main topic of the evening, I just wanted to put that out there. Diddy was hit with the superseding indictment, okay? Now, we all knew, look, Cal supporters already know what's going to happen. Like, we already knew that this was going to happen. Like, I really do feel like people who... I really do feel like people who is new to this and covering this, like they could just really ask a Kel supporter like what's going to happen, or R.Kelly, somebody in the R.Kelly system, because we know all about how it's going to happen and everything, especially when the documentary came out, because that was to help the government. That was to taint the jury. They were saying the way that they put that documentary out was the same thing they said that Diddy was doing when his kids was saying happy birthday to him. They were making him seem normal and seem human and things of that nature. And so they put the documentary out to taint the jury, to come back with a superseding indictment. And some R. Kelly supporters are going to try to benefit from this too. You know, I'm surprised some of them ain't said, well, Diddy did something to them. And looking at his past itinerary and try to put themselves in those places to say that him and Kels were both teaming up on them. I mean, I just think that the cons are definitely trying to come up with some type of scam. But anyway, it's a superseding indictment that just dropped today. And a lot of times it's stuff always dropped on a Thursday, especially in New York. And I'm not knowing how the people in New York are thinking and stuff like that, but it is crazy. It is crazy that this government is putting their own citizens in jail for trafficking and all this and that. Not that they don't belong there, but I'm just saying, with the same memo, and all that kind of stuff. And yet they out here protesting for criminals that are illegal immigrants to stay in this country, like Selena Gomez crying, like literally crying because of the immigrants who are in this country illegally. People say, well, these people have been in this country 10, 15 years. Well, then you had 10, 15 years to try to get your paperwork together to be in this country legally. You had so many years to try to get in this country and be in this country legally, especially during the Biden administration where they were welcoming you in. So instead of you sitting up there continuing to be on the illegal block, you know, you could have definitely got your papers together to where you could have had a green card by now. Like, you could have really been putting in what you needed to put in for a green card by now. Really, you could have really did that and did some research on that and figure out how to go about doing these things. It's just as simple as that. As simple as that. But let's listen to what New York Times had to say about Diddy. All right, so we're gonna listen to this AI voice. It's an hour. It's a minute and 23 seconds, and we're gonna see what they said. Okay, because I don't feel like reading. Let's get it.
Trafficking indictment of Sean Combs lists 2 more victims. This article is by Julia Jacobs and read by an automated voice. Prosecutors filed an expanded indictment against Sean Combs on Thursday, in which they accused the music mogul of coercing 2 additional women into commercial sex acts and of dangling a woman over an apartment balcony. Mr. Combs, 55, has been held in a Brooklyn jail since the initial indictment in September charged him with sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. He has pleaded not guilty and his lawyers have asserted his innocence. The new charges are part of a superseding indictment that was returned by a grand jury, according to documents filed in federal district court in Manhattan. Most of the new indictment mirrors the one initially filed, but it accuses Mr. Combs of transporting 2 additional women to engage in prostitution. It also extends the period of alleged racketeering conspiracy, which prosecutors say involves a criminal organization responsible for crimes including kidnapping and drug offenses, back to 2004 instead of 2008. Prosecutors said in court papers that they do not expect the new allegations to slow down court proceedings. Mr. Combs' trial is scheduled to start in May. Ben Cesario contributed reporting.
All right. So that was easy. That was easy to do. That was good to do, right? And so in this process, Diddy is now facing the superseding indictment with these 2 additional charges. And this stems back from what they said the timeline is from 2008 to 2020, 2000 and what? Let me see. Hold on. Let me go back and look at it. I think it's 2004 to 2008. Right? But I have a problem with these timelines in this early 2000. Like, I really have a problem with the fact that they wait all these years to come up with something with this crime to try to get in on this and everything else, because I believe that they're trying to get some type of restitution and some money. Like, people ain't said nothing all these years. Cassie come out and floodgates open. I'm sick of just floodgates open until when everybody think that there's going to be a payout. Right? Nobody said anything up until then, but they're going to be a payout. But we already knew over here on the kill sector. I only came on here to sit up there and say, we already knew that it was going to be a superseding indictment. We already knew that it was going to be a documentary. We said all this last year when they sat up there and arrested Diddy. No, actually when they raided his homes. We already said what was going to happen here on the channel, Spin Fire, the Fire Flames and I. We already indicated what was going to happen. We already said what was going to happen. We already knew what was going to happen, especially in New York. And I told people, New York there's something in the jury in New York, right? To where I believe, personally, my take is that they have these fixed jurors on the grand jury and the jury room. I really do. I believe that they believe all women, and I believe it's a whole committee of them to flood that they took over. Haru, we saw like the writing on the wall. We automatically knew that they were going to do this. Like, it's the same playbook that they did with Kels. The same damn playbook that they did with R.Kelly. And as a matter of fact, we could tell it was Cassie in the video, but we couldn't even tell how old the young lady was with R.Kelly. And they put an age on her. They made it stick. They put a narrative to that video that was leaked with R.Kelly. You know what I'm saying? And they prevailed in that. Because I believe the jurors don't vote, or I don't believe the jurors really look at evidence like that. I believe the jurors actually come back with a superseding indictment based on the public. Like, you can tell the jurors not to look at the news, not to watch. They're going to look. And they're going to go. People feed off everybody else's energy. Just like when I was telling y'all about a person I had to block. They feed off everyone else's energy. You get what I'm saying? And if everybody is for it, then they're going to go with the flow of what's happening. They're going to sit up there and say, okay, well, a lot of people out here in the world think that, Thug is innocent. Or everybody's saying free Thug. So what happened? He basically walked out the courtroom even if he took a plea. You get what I'm saying? The other guys are free YSL and all this and that. Because the energy of the universe. But if the energy feeling like everybody's saying you're guilty, then the jurors feeling it. And they're not looking at actual evidence. They're not going to look and see, he should take the stand this time because R.Kelly didn't, and you see what got him. He needs to tell his side of the story because once upon a time they used to say, don't take the stand because they'll cross you up. But own up to everything you did. Own up to everything you did. Take accountability for it. Say what you feel you need to say because you have really nothing to lose. But at the same time, a lot of these people are lying on this man for the profit. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I think I put a little clipping together yesterday about some tears. And people get on the stand and they cry. And the reason why I put that clipping together, because I wanted people to know that crying doesn't mean that you're telling the truth. Crying doesn't mean this emotion of abuse that people tend to think that it means. You know what I mean? People can cry. If you think of something that hurts you, you can cry and then spin the narrative as you open your mouth to make people think that that's exactly what you're crying about, and it's something totally different. Like, people cry on cue all the time. We seen Jussie Smollett do an interview, and he's an actress, and he cried right on cue. An actor. I said actress. An actor. Well, I guess he identified, whatever. Right? He cried on cue. We seen the lady in our Surviving R.Kelly documentary. What was her name? Star with a J. Not Geronda. The other one that said she seen R.Kelly and Aaliyah having sex and the door flew open. Her. She cried all on cue. Andrea cried on cue. Lying their ass off, but crying all on cue. People can do that, especially when they have such anger towards you. They have such emotion towards you. Javante, yes. Crying all on cue. All on cue. Like, that does not mean someone is telling the truth, y'all. Please understand that that does not mean people are not telling the truth because they cry. Crying sometimes means I know I'm up here lying, I'm scared to death, but I'm going to say something totally different than with my tears. And when they get home, they be like, girl, I cried on cue. I did. I worked that shit. You get what I'm saying? They was like, I worked that shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, people do that all the time. Like, it's just one of those things that it doesn't mean that somebody's telling the truth. And I just wanted to make sure people understand that, because I've listened to somebody's podcast where R.Kelly was on there, and she was like, oh, one of the young ladies was like, oh, I have a newfound respect for her. What? Everybody knows she lying. Even Stephanie Mills even know she was lying. Stephanie Mills can't stand R.Kelly. And was vocal about it. Very vocal. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's just one of those things. Yeah, and you know, these guys can go to jail for a very long time. And they probably will, especially in New York. They already have this stuff set on the sentencing. They already have their mind made up. The judge really already have their mind made up. They're just going through the process for constitutional purposes only. They already picked the jurors that they're going to pull from. And the prosecutors already know, in my opinion, that, like, say for instance, if there's 100 jurors, I got 100 people I know feel the way I feel as a prosecutor. And so when we do jury selection, it doesn't matter which jurors we pick. I already know that everybody's going to say guilty because everybody feels the same way about the Me Too movement. See, that's what I believe is going on in New York. Like, I'm like, what is New York? Yeah, but see, the problem I have with us is that certain people can go home. Yeah, certain people can go home. You're an old white man, you can go home. But they put an old black man in jail. They put Bill Cosby in there. But Abercrombie and Finch, they say because of his age. I just find that, I just have a problem with that, y'all. Ooh, and then that judge said that. And I said, and I was really going to write that judge. I really was going to write that judge. I really was. And I said no, because I'm angry and the words come out. But I really wanted to let that judge know that there was not only discrimination towards age, because you can discriminate backwards age discrimination. Like, you're discriminating on Diddy because he younger. Well, his past indiscretions, right? Well, his past indiscretions were when he was in a whole nother decade, a whole nother age group. You know, as someone get older, they don't do the very same things they used to do 30 years ago. So he could mature since then. Everybody has a right to be a knucklehead and go through life challenges when they're young and wise up from them since. So to say that his past indiscretions is a reason why you deny him bail is not even an excuse to do so. That's not even an excuse to do so, because you're gonna charge me in my 50s on what I did in my 20s? Or even early 30s for that fact. You really gonna sit up there and say I'm the same person? And then people say, well, I took charges for him. That's your fault. Like when people was up here interviewing Shine and they were saying he took the charges for Diddy. You the dummy. You the dummy. I don't give a damn. I'm not giving up my freedom for no damn body. And then you give up your freedom for Diddy in hopes that he will take care of your family or you or your loved ones. What? And then you said, well, he made sure he put the nail in the coffin. Well, hell, you decided to take the damn fall. I'm going to put the nail in the coffin too to get me up off you. Like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you let him go through his own fate? Because one thing I can say is that when Kels went to court the last time, it came out in the court transcript. He told people to tell the truth. They said, well, what you want me to say? He said, tell the truth. Like, if I ain't got nothing to hide, what the hell you asking me what I got to say? Like, we need to get on board on something. Tell the truth. They went in there and they said what they said, and that was it. Jury found him not guilty, but then they found a loophole. These loopholes is what gets me. These loopholes. I don't like the way New York is doing things. You know, I find that a lot of women, I'm serious. I'm finna get somebody mad at me. Ooh, let me pull back, because some of y'all keep telling me, y'all email me and say some things, and that's not what I want this channel to be. I don't want to be considerate of one's experiences and life trauma. I don't. But there is a fact to things, though, y'all. Can I be frank with y'all? Can I be honest? There is a fact to things. You know, this is the reason why we used to teach our kids not to talk to strangers or get in a car with strangers and things of that nature, because there are just things that can happen. And then the Me Too movement said, well, it's not your fault, it's their fault. Well, when we teach you not to go with strangers and you go with strangers, you know, being hard-headed, it may be the person's fault to do something bad to you, because no one should do something bad, but you got to take responsibility for your hard-headedness that probably could have avoided the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to stop with the women that are not being accountable for the choices that they make. Right? And so when I was going, like, we was talking about Diddy, and then we was talking about academics, it seems like to me the way that they're painting all black men is that they're all groomers and that they're all R words and P words and everything else. Because if you really look at everything, the men that talk about Diddy and Kels and everything else, they have some indiscretions themselves. Like, look at Torrey, look at Charlamagne the God. Why would we accept them and hang them? Like, does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you? And then the Me Too movement said that they supposed to have little girls in their neighborhood. Well, Nazira, the little girl that got killed here in Detroit, that was, you know, being R-worded by a family member, a auntie boyfriend, and he ended up impregnating her. The trial is going on or just wrapped up or whatever. I just choose not to cover that stuff because, for one, I'm not a trial vlogger, and for two, the emotion behind it, being a mother myself. But this movement told you guys that they were for people like her. that you can come and you can talk about what's going on. And that's movement been out 7 years. And all they went after was celebrity men with money. They didn't help really little black girls in the neighborhood like Tasha K said, like Tarana Burke said. They lied. They lied and they made millions of dollars. They took your stories out there in the world. You know, there's a lot of Naziras out here, and the real victims, and Spitfire been telling y'all this forever. Victims for profit is not your story, so quit giving them support. That's not, their story is not yours. Okay? Nobody's riding private jets in Detroit on every day. There's no private jets going up and down 7 to 8 Mile. Maybe Gratiot at the city airport. But there is no private jets. There's no mansions. You get what I'm saying? And then Spitfire told you that a lot of this stuff starts at home. So then I goes on Angela Stan King. Shout out to her, who said that she wanted to work with passing a Nazira bill about parents. Spitfire did a petition about the mother with cows for the longest. So I reached out. I did rescind my Instagram post because I felt like she was so busy with this election and everything that she just probably ain't got time, you know, and sometimes people don't want to work with no one else. You get what I'm saying? So I just rescinded it, but I did extend it like, what can I do to help? Because I already had this, I said this 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I said this when I was even on Kwame's channel. I was trying to get people to sign the petition then. It starts at home. You guys can put all these men in jail if you want to. But until you start putting some parents in jail, I'm not going to never support that. I'm always stick with the men. I'm never going to support that because somebody got to take accountability. Somebody got to take accountability. Like you got women out here. People say, well, they were in fear. Your fear is not going to be an excuse to why you didn't come out to decades later until money was had. That is never going to be okay with me. Ever. Now, the only way you want to get my respect and my support, just say, for instance, if there was no money to be had. Right? No money to be had. And you want this man to go to jail. But the moment money can be got and can be sued for, everybody singing. What happened to the shame and the guilt? And I'm scared. What happened to all of that? Now all of a sudden ain't nobody scared no fucking more. Now all of a sudden no one's scared anymore. They ran straight to attorneys to file a lawsuit. Nobody. This is what I'm trying to get people to understand. It's the fact that it's a problem with me when those type of things happen. Like, we want to protect people. We don't just want to protect women. We don't want to just protect little girls, because I did a story, right, on this channel about a woman whose son, okay, was being groomed by an adult female teacher, and the media hid her face. Had that been a man, his face would have been plastered all over the media. And I'm on here trying to get men to say, fuck that. And men battle me saying, I got to protect my daughter. Wait a minute. Hold up. This ain't even about your daughter. Your daughter got a lot of protection. There's so many organizations out here to protect your daughter. There's none to protect you and the little boys. They need to stay children too. to the little boys who used to play with the superheroes and tie a old sheet around his neck and pretend like he can jump off stuff and fly around the house like he's Superman or Batman somewhere. Whatever happened to that? Why we expect the little boys, why we don't care about them? I do. I had a girlfriend, I think I told y'all this before, had a son, right? I'm talking about, she's just not my friend. I call her my sister. Like, we was besties. We're not anymore, but we were besties. And she was someone I do love dearly, really do, even to this day. But I had to separate myself because she was a lot like these women that I talk about. Every time we talk as women about relationships, she would sit up there and hate on the men. And I was different. I was liking on the men, even when they was doing me wrong. I'm just a girl, a girl, guy type of girl or whatever. I love the men. Like, I like to be around the men, and it's not because any other thing sexual. It's because I don't have to deal with the cattiness. Women always trying each other. Even when you get to know them, they always want to say something slick or try you and all this and that. And I'm a fighter. And I don't want to resort to that because it's like not feminine. And it's not like I don't have no feminine in me. But I don't like bullshit. You know what I mean? So I just was like, I can't deal with a bunch of women. Even when I was coming up in school, I had a lot of fights because of women. So for you guys to say you don't like women, that's probably why I have reservations towards women. Because every time back in the day, and believe it or not, okay, I had an hourglass once upon a time before I got middle age, all right? And I'm cool. I was always a cool girl. I was always cool. I was a tomboy, you know, and all this and that. And I was always cool. But girls always would try you. Who she thinks she is. And all that catty shit. And I never was a cut like that. Like, if you a pretty girl, ugly girl, whatever, if you cool, you cool. Like, I like to kick it. You know what I'm saying? And what we gonna do and have fun. But bitches will try you. Next thing you know, I'm in a fight. I get suspended. My mama mad. She's like, you can't keep your ass in school. It was like that at work. When I got grown, I remember working on the line. I worked at the plant. When I first started working, before I worked my way up, I worked at the plant, and we was on the line. And I remember coming in there, because I didn't go to college immediately, because my mama said, you know, it was a good that I could graduate high school the way I was going. And the first thing women were doing, this one girl, her man worked on the line with us. So she was all up, her insecurity. I don't like when women show their insecurity. I hate that with a fucking passion. So yeah, that added to my reservation towards women. You get what I'm saying? Like, a nigga gonna be what he is. You get what I'm saying? If he go fuck around, if he go kick it with somebody, if he go do what he go do it any damn way. But I hate when a woman show her fucking insecurity in public. Show it at home. You know what I'm saying? But you gonna show it in public? Now, the only way I would show what I need to show in public is if you disrespect me so obvious in public. That's a whole different ball game. I'm not talking about those instances. I'm just talking about, she was like, the girl was like, I'm on the line, and she was like, what did she say? She was like, oh yeah, hey husband. So the guy worked next to me, and she just she wanted me to know that was her man. I ain't spoke to this man. I ain't talked to this man. I ain't even look at this man really until she said, hey, husband. That's what drew my attention to the man. Right now, because I was new on the job, I'm trying to focus on how to do the job. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm new. I'm trying to focus on how to do the job. Our first goal is not to see some women, but that wasn't me. I was always a tomboy. I was the t-shirt, jeans, long hair, but slick to the back. Wasn't no makeup, wasn't no weed, wasn't no bamboo earrings, wasn't none of that. It wasn't none of that with me, right? So, anyway, getting back to my girlfriend who I said we were good friends, she was always like these lefties. Probably still is to this day. And she had a son. Now, she had some issues with her son. All right? He had a behavior issue. But the problem is with that, she had him young. So later on, she had 2 kids. She got married and had 2 kids. She was a better mother to her 2 kids, which were girls, because she was older, more mature. When you are a teenage mom, you know what I mean, a very young teenage mom, your kid don't have the benefits a lot of the times as the ones who you had older when you were a little bit more established, right? So one day she was telling me I guess she put her son out, or he was coming in and out of the house. You know, one minute she get mad at him, put him out. Then she'll bring him back in, right? So I said, oh, so, he home. And she was like, yeah, he home or whatever. No, she said, no, he ain't home. He's staying with his girlfriend. Now, I knew her son was a teenager, so I'm like, staying with his girlfriend, like, maybe the mama allowing him to stay in the basement or something, but even then, because he had nowhere to go. So she was like, nah, she an older woman. So even back then, this was way before Me Too movement. I don't even know if I had my daughter. I don't even know if I had my daughter then. I think my daughter was born. Yeah, because she had the 2 kids already, so my daughter had to have been born. So I said, what? That's exactly what I said, what? So what I'm telling you guys and what I speak on the channel, I've been feeling this way for years, but now God made it to the point where I developed this channel. I've developed a podcast. Then I became a solo content creator, and I developed this channel to have my voices to speak on the things that I'm really, believe in and passionate about, right? And please, again, sometimes people say you talk at people, you don't talk to people. That's just my passion, okay? Forgive me for that. That's just my passion. That's just the way I deliver my message. Don't take it personal. So I asked her, I said, I'm ready. She's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I know we finna go over there and kick this bitch ass, right? Like, she was like, girl, nah. I feel like she can teach him how to be a man. I was like, no, that's your job. You his mama. This damn bitch is almost older, almost our age. We finna go over, I know we finna go over there and put a whooping on this hoe. I know you finna go over there and tear some dough down. Because it hadn't been a man with you. Well, I feel like if it was a girl, it'd be different because he can ruin her life. So she can't ruin his life. But a man can only ruin a girl's life. Yeah, because she can get her pregnant and all this and that. And what the fuck she can get with, what she can do by him? Yeah, but she gonna be stuck with the baby. Well, what is that doing to him? Why would he need to be experiencing being a deadbeat dad at this early age, even if she is the one carrying the baby and keeping the baby? Right? Like, it didn't make sense. Why would he need to experience that? Of course he can't have the baby. He don't have a vagina. So I was choked up because we were so close. And I'm thinking, how is we so close? And we thinking like this is so different. Because had it been my son, my daughter, or my son, this is why I say these people are fake. I'm kicking ass, okay? Especially if you're a woman. I'm not, when you open the door, I'm snatching you by your hair. right? You gonna either kick my ass or I'm gonna kick yours. I'm snatching you by your hair. I'm not asking no questions or anything. I'm going to jail. I'm snatching you by your hair. And I dare you call the police. I dare you. So I can say you sleeping with my son. I dare you. Because I probably will call after this ass whooping. It depends. I might put this ass whooping on you because she gonna have to do one of the two. She gonna have to. Because I'm going to beat her ass with my hand. Scratch the bitch eyes out, pull her hair out, I'm gonna bite the bitch, kick the bitch. I'm gonna do everything I can. I'm gonna put feet and hands all on you. Cause he needs to, cause the youth, girl or boy, we need to preserve their youth. You only have that moment for a moment. You only a kid for a moment. So we need to preserve that innocence. So when Azriel said, and even your young adult years, her mother pretended to be her, then why R.Kelly was not there when Alice gave birth to Azriel. Yeah, I'm snatching by the hair. She opened the door, I'm just grabbing for the hair. If she bald head, I'm grabbing her by her collar. If she got a bra on, I'm snatching it off. You open the door, I'm just reaching in snatching. That's it. Cause I can't wait for you to get no weapon. What I look like? So she really had this thing that it was okay for him, but it ain't okay for her daughters. Because they can get pregnant. Yeah. And he could ruin her life. Yeah. I wouldn't say ruin, but it could put a damper on it. But this is what we teaching our young boys, that they can be violated. She can get pregnant. He don't have no money and no responsibilities, and yeah, he gonna be called a deadbeat. He gonna be labeled. The kid gonna grow up and hate him. Not understand. You want that for him? You want that for him? Like, we gotta really change the way we do things. And so, like, people say, well, we seen the Cassie video. I'm so sick of everybody going by this Cassie video. I really am. I really am. Nobody is even thinking of the fact. Everybody tells them she was escaping a freak off, walking. People look at that video like they looked at Surviving R.Kelly. People looked at that shit so closed eyes. Really. I think I probably was the only person to look at that video for what it was. Really. Like, I looked at that video 6 months ago and said she was lying. I was the only channel that said it. YouTube restricted my views for saying it. My monetization turned yellow. Now, I'm not taking up for Puffy. Puffy did a whole lot of shit he ain't got no business doing. But here's the thing. This is the part about being a bad boy for real, for real. The whole point to life, what people don't understand, is to be good, a good person if you are a believer in a higher being. Because I like to say that to respect everyone's religious beliefs, if they have one. And if you are a believer, you're supposed to live your life to be the best person that you can be. And treat people with respect because you want them to treat you that way. Right? And be a productive citizen. But it's also another part of life. That if you got to get out here and get dirty, the whole objective to the shit is not to get caught. That's the whole objective. People do a lot of shit out here in the world that is wrong. Right? Some people get caught, some people get away with it. Right? And then some people, now we got it to where you get away with it because of social media and propaganda. We could just believe it because of the past rumors. I find a problem with that. I find a real serious problem with that. I really do. I find a real serious problem with that. You get what I'm saying? People always want to sit up there and hold everybody accountable for their indiscretions when it's publicly put out here in front of everyone, as if they don't have secrets and stuff. Like, you not out here on the internet. You not out here in the public like Diddy. So your life is going to be different. And because he got money, it draws and builds so much arrogance. With R.Kelly too. With all of them. Kanye, all of them have a certain level of arrogance. Because the world gave them that when they put them on this pedestal. And then we take it from up under them and say, look at you. But the problem I have with people, and particularly black people, is the fact that we do love tearing each other down. It's entertaining for us. It's almost like Gladiator. Seeing two gladiators go at it back in the Roman days and with the swords and the shields. And they fighting to the death, and it's entertaining. We like to see it. It's the same with the internet. But I'm not finding it. I never liked those type of movies, really. And I never liked reading about it in history, right? The fights and stuff. I just thought that it was inhumane then, and it's inhumane now. And I never got with it. My spirit can't get with it. That's why I will take up for Diddy before I take up for the government. As crooked as your ass is, and is diabolical as they are, and all the stuff that we seen that they do and done, you really want me to use my platform to hang this man or any other black man particularly, or any other man for that fact, white ones too? You really want me to do that? At the drop of a hat, any of us hit the lotto and become just as rich as these people, we could be on the chopping block. But you know what I have a problem with? And then they say, well, he's a felon and he's in the White House. Really? You really going to sit up there and add these fake ass charges like to him, like you did with Diddy and Kels, and make that stick to someone's character from a crooked ass government who use the law to hinder people, men up with fake Me Too's and get these women out here to make these claims? You really want us to believe that women are not infatuated and turned on by a man's money, power, and fame? Like, that would be just fake. A man would, you don't have to be a gold digger, but to some women it still can be attractive. It should be attractive. It should be. Who would want somebody who don't have shit? Who ain't about shit and who ain't doing shit? It should be attractive. If you build something together and y'all lost it together and someone fell ill, that's different. If you got a long history together. Me and my husband, we got a long history together. We don't count those people. I'm talking about when you're dating. Let's just keep it a buck. If you are dating, who wants to date someone out here who doesn't have anything? You don't have to be a gold digger or a whore or a slut or anything like that, but who wants to? It should be attractive when a man has means. And maybe even vice versa. Right? But you sleep with someone because they have means, or you do this for someone because they have means. You know what I'm saying? But then if somebody fly you out and want to meet with you and have a date, we have this internet. Like, I can't say, well, come on out, and then we so happen to have sex. Now that's trafficking. But this is a person, I just don't believe in that law. I don't believe that law. When I think of trafficking, I think of people in the back of a damn semi-truck with some holes in it for air, tied up and bound. Or young women forced into doing some things with men and they can't escape. And they make them go places to do these things and bring back money. I think that's trafficking. Dating is not, and flying somebody out is, to me, that's not trafficking. And I think that law is being abused. Because this is a very same government, whether you red or blue. Right? This is the very same government that flies all over the place all the damn time and get into some shit. But this is the very same government that says a woman has the right to choose what she gonna do with her body. Well, wouldn't that be, how is it the conception of a baby is that term that you can have a choice to do what you want to do with your body, but the sex of making the baby or engaging in can be trafficking? The shit just don't sound right. The shit just don't sound right. I'm never going to do that anymore. Like, even with YSL and the way that black people came together and seeing how the government is ugly. I think that the reason why people thought that the YSL people were to be set free was because we seen how crooked the government was. But in Fed, they don't show it. So I want to ask everybody, because they don't show it, I'm not finna support the federal government if you ain't showing shit. Nah, I'm not finna do that. No matter if you dislike Diddy or not. Because that's what y'all did to Kels. And look at this sector. We proven over and over again. I'm even bringing back the MIB to read the transcripts again. But under a whole new setup, so they won't say I'm circumventing. I'm going to do it a whole different way. But I have it in the community chat that says that the MIB is coming back. And I'm working on it. And we're going to be reading the transcript. So you guys can see, because here's the thing. When they put these articles out here, it's one-sided. It's with the news media is working with the government. They're not working with the defense. You have one-side media. One-sided. And that's an issue. I'm holding Cassie responsible too. People say, I seen the video. I see a whole lot of women and men get their ass kicked by their spouses and husbands and wives and everything else. I seen women kick their husband's ass. I'm talking about fucking them up where blood was drawn. I seen both ways. This ain't nothing new just because they rich and it's out there and when they entertainers and they in the world. I seen it all. But she still chose to stay 2 extra years. She enjoyed some of those, and I cannot phantom. I cannot phantom. Not fathom, phantom. Right? I learned that word from Kwame Brown's channel. Okay? We don't say fathom over here. We say phantom. Right? That's the way that the Bus Life told me to say it, so that's how I'm going to say it. We don't say pork chops, we say poke chops. All right? So I cannot not fathom, phantom. Okay? I had to make sure I said it right on cue too. Seriously though. I had to fathom that if Cassie knew about all these freak-offs, and she said, oh, I was forced to be in these freak-offs, and you was finna write a book, and you left, to be forced. Listen, y'all. Listen, I'm finna tap into some serious stuff. Yeah, I can't even fathom that. I cannot at all. Like, okay, let me say it like this, because you got to watch what you say on here. People are so sensitive. Cassie said she was forced into freak-offs. So many freak-offs. And I said to myself, she was forced into freak-offs? Yes. And we seen you on a red carpet smiling and dolled up. Yeah, she'd put on a face. Let me tell y'all something. Let me ask y'all something. Women. I want to ask the women something. Because women's supposed to support women. You got the Sherelle Worlds out here that says they believe she's so strict left. I'm like, oh, Lord. Oh, my God. That lets you know that a lot of people don't do research. They talk. But let me ask the women this. Strictly the women. Fellas, I need y'all to fall back on this. Because if you are a woman with an ounce of self-respect, right? Now, this is a young lady who said that her and Diddy broke up off and on for years. They were off and on, which means we break up, we go back together, we break up, we go back together. Like normal relationship shit. You know how we do. Y'all know how we do, right? It's life, okay? Lifing, relationshiping, And you got a man. See, this is why I said she lying. And the reason I'm finna break this shit down now. I listen. The reason that's why I'm bringing the women forward. All the women come forward, right? Because this part of this commentary is a breakdown. This is a breakdown right here. So you a woman, right? And you say Diddy. They said that Diddy. Now listen, women, come on now. We gonna put on our thinking cap. You say, come on, get to it, Spitfire. I'm getting to it. We putting on our thinking cap. Right? Life. If you're a woman who's been lifing, some of the times when a man, they swingers, they go both ways, they engage with a lot of shit. And usually they with someone that they can either introduce to it. Hey, you want to try this? Because they want you to be comfortable. And then if you try it and like it, now you down with the get down. You get what I'm saying? Now you down with the get down. It ain't grooming. I can introduce you to some shit. Like if I said, I'm freaky and I want 2 and 3-somes. And I want some women or some men. And we all down with it. Then we all down with it. And especially if we all adults, right? But here's what I have a problem with Cassie. And I said she lying. She doing a lot of lying. I'm not saying his ass was right on with the shit he was doing. But the shit that she's trying to make it seem like he's the monster, the women are lying. The same as with Kels. I see it. I see all through it. So you said this man is so possessive and jealous. You broke up with him and dated Kid Cudi. Then he broke up he blew up Kid Cudi's car. Then you went and worked with someone. Y'all, come on now. Come on, women. Then you went and worked with another rapper. You don't want this man near your woman. Not even rapping or making music. And you hold him over a balcony over her. Cause you jealous cause this your goddamn woman. Right? And when we break up, where she free to go be who she want to be with, you still possessive and you blow this man's car up. See, and the men who partaking in this shit, they got a gripes with Diddy, right? Come on now, women. Now, you mean to tell me that this man who is this possessive, right? That's this possessive. Is okay with you without you being a willing participant. Come on now. Come on now. See, I'm a woman of a particular age. Right? We know as men, we know our men when they possessive. The thought, because a man can cheat all day, because they say men emotion and sex is disconnected. Women emotion and sex is connected. Okay? So you mean to tell me that this man who blew up a car, held a nigga over the balcony, was okay with you ordering some strange men to get all up in that? Because we know, and men, y'all ain't thinking. To think of your girl, your woman, somebody you flung around on the red carpet, someone who you willing to blow up a car over, hold a nigga over the balcony over. I'm gonna let some niggas run their things up in that. Come on now. Come on now. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. Because the only time that would be okay is if she down with it. Young Miami too, she down with it. And Young Miami ain't never denied it. She's not playing, she ain't playing victim. She said, Young Miami said, people are mad at her because she won't turn into Azrael. She won't say what they want her to say. She's like, that's not my experience. They trying to make her a victim. I got a problem with that shit because that's not telling the truth. So you mean to tell me this man did all this and then he wants you to go and have sex with all these men? And you mean to tell me as a woman, women, come on back. I ain't finished with you now. I'm talking to you women. You ain't down with it. You're not down with it at all. First of all, as women, because of the way we are sexually, some of us free with it, some of us reserved with it, some of us, if you introduce me to it, I may open up to it, whatever. But an average woman is not okay if she's not down with it for strange men to put their penises inside of them. It doesn't matter. Even pimps have to beat their damn hoes into the acceptance of the lifestyle. Some of them even they groom them softly into it. I can't see a woman, because if that's the case, you've been raped over and over and over and over and over again by these strange men. Oh, but they victims too, because they've been flued out. Even though they bigger, older, more masculine, muscular than Diddy and can take them. They victims too. This shit is crazy as shit, right? But then they had these freak offs. And instead, now listen now, hold on, women. So she got all these men that she's putting inside of her, and the thought of these strange penises inside of you. And then you on a red carpet smiling. Like ain't nothing happened. You would be looking like Blue Ivy. Everybody say Blue Ivy looks so damn depressed and sad. I can't even phantom you even being able to play it off that good. The eyes is the window to the soul. You get what I'm saying? So, you have all these sex with all these men, and you didn't want to do it. There was no amount of money this motherfucker could pay me. There is no, I would probably try to kill him. If he forced all those men up on me, I would probably try to kill his ass. So I can't phantom that. Phantom. I'm saying phantom too. God damn it. I can't fathom that. Right? No, phantom. I'm saying phantom. I can't fathom that though. Seriously. I can't fathom that. Like, I cannot understand that being an issue. And then what got me, what everybody is not paying attention to. Everybody's paying attention to Diddy, but nobody's paying attention to Cassie. Women, I need to wheel you back in for a second. So she's going to write a book. Prior to going to court, she was going and filing these charges on Diddy in the end of 23. She was going to write a book. And she wanted Diddy to publish or fund the book. And he wouldn't do it. So I heard that's why she put out this lawsuit. That makes sense. But you was going to write a book about your abuse? What? It wasn't abuse. You was partaking into the act. Women have sex fetishes. Women have them. But the thing is, she can hide behind this thing called grape, an essay. So she won't be embarrassed for having a fetish. Because it's not ladylike to have a sexual fetish. There are women out here who have these fetishes on sex. Way worse than a one man. Tell me, I'm trying to tell you. I know women who say they want 4 or 5 men at one time. There are people who have these sex fetishes. And then you want to say, well, he doped you up with drugs. And then that was it. If I'm not doing drugs, if I don't do drugs and I don't like drugs, I won't date nobody that do drugs. I don't care how much money you have. I'm not dating you. Because I don't partake in that. I don't do drugs. So I'm not going to like you to the point where I'm going to do drugs. And I was young and I knew that. I was 18, 19 years old and I knew that. I'm so sick of people thinking when you 18, 19, you don't have a brain. You have a brain. You have a brain. You have a mind. Just like that 15-year-old told DJ Academics, yo, I'm 15. Chill out, bro. They have a foundation on how to protect themselves too. He checked both the men during that process. So when people think that young people don't know how to deal, yeah, we do. We teach them. And whoever taught him, they taught him well because he let it be known. He took care of it. He handled himself out here on the internet. And let me tell you, the reason why they kept doing it because they felt stupid. If you really pay attention to it. When they was talking to that 15-year-old DJ Academics, they felt stupid. When he said, I'm 15 years old. Chill out, bro. You heard a brief silence. And then they tried to, well, what that mean? So what? They tried to do that because they felt stupid. So they tried to stand on something they shouldn't even been standing on instead of at that using that point to say, you're right, I forgot you were 15. I forgot. He would have been better off saying, oh shit, I forgot you was underage. And kept it moving. My bad, I forgot you was underage. All us grown, I forgot. Well, let's hurry up and get up off here so we can talk grown folk shit. That's what I would have said and did. But they paused for a minute because they was embarrassed that they was checked by a 15-year-old. That's what that was. I peeped all through that. Right. I knew I didn't want to do drugs. I knew I was a person that wasn't easily influenced. Some people are. They follow everyone. I'm not a follower. I'm not easily influenced. I don't do that. And if I don't do something, I don't hang around you. There's no reason for me to hang around you when we don't like the same shit. Because eventually you doing drugs, you start stealing from me, you start doing, I want none of that. I don't want that life. And most of the time, they know if they can sit up there and groom you into it. And if they know if you headstrong and ain't gonna do it, they ain't gonna even want to be around you. You get what I'm saying? So, I said that to say, regardless of what the video showed, the girl is not being truthful, y'all. She wanted the money, and I believe her husband put her up to it because they was in the Me Too era. You was with this motherfucker, you can get money like they did R.Kelly, and she got it. You know enough about him to get this money, and she got it. And she got it. All you got to do is make an accusation, it's done. Now, I'm still waiting on how long it's going to be for her and her husband to divorce after now that she got the money. We're waiting. We'll see. We'll see. Well, we already knew what was going on here in the R.Kelly sector on how they was going to do Diddy, and they did him the very same way they did Kels. And we was already in tune with it. We already knew about it. It wasn't new to us. It's new to other bloggers. It wasn't new to us. And the only reason why it's new to other bloggers is because they ain't pay attention to us when we were telling them what they were doing. We were telling them what they were doing. And had you paid attention to this R. Kelly shit, you would have knew what they were going to do to Diddy. And then at that point, you can say, nah, this shit ain't right. How do we know what your next step going to be because you keep doing it? And if that's the government's memo, then we got an issue. And we seen how crooked they was, whether it's state or federal, with Tasha K, with the BOP and everything else. It's ugly. It's ugly. So, I just thought that this was it. We went over an hour. You know what I'm saying? An hour and 14 minutes. But this is the hour we was spitting fire. And we spit it to fire. Sean Combs, you know what I'm saying? Sean Diddy Combs was hit with a superseding indictment today. Brought on by 2 more other people. And, of course, they came back with, an indictment. You got to understand the grand jury only hears one side. So people don't even know the law thinking that it's proof. It ain't no proof. They hear one side of the story, the people's story, and they come back with an indictment. And then he's a high profile individual like R.Kelly. So people already got their mind made up that he guilty. That's why I used to try to tell black bloggers to stop blogging on these cases in favor of government, because you're cutting off your own freedom, right? Because the real ones who's doing this, the real work, or the real predators and the real ones out here grooming, they the ones who reporting shit. They the ones on the Breakfast Club, allegedly. They the ones who's all in these documentaries and they doing the shit themselves. We seen Surviving R. Kelly with Torrey, with Charlamagne the God. Now we seen DJ Academics, and they talking cash shit about these people because their eyes are on, you guys' eyes are looking to the left when somebody need to look to the right. So as long as they got your eyes in another direction and off of them, the real ones, they don't give a shit. And if you got caught being inappropriate with a minor in any way, shape, form, or fashion, you should never talk about any essays or situations again. Charlamagne should never be talking about this. When they went on the Breakfast Club and talked about DJ Academics, he should have set that out. When they talk about R. Kelly, he should set it out. He should never speak on it. Torrey should never speak on shit like this. And yet they got him out here. So how are we to believe the media when it comes to certain individuals? It's all about who you like. I'm just not for it. Now, Diddy did a whole lot of shit he ain't got no business doing, but that's, like I said before, that's the goal. If I can get away with some shit and nobody caught me, that's the point. We love those movies where the mafia get away with shit. Right? That's the point. But when you come back years later and convict me on rumors of it, and ain't got no solid evidence, and that's what we're supposed to do, it is what it is. But the problem I hate with it is that when these men with money, people want to side with the government in hopes to get some type of restitution for it. I have a problem with that. I just have a problem with the way the government is working. You can't trust their asses either. How is this man gonna sit up there and tell y'all Abercrombie and Finch can be released, and a man like Bill Cosby, who donated millions to HBCUs, he gets to go to jail? And we okay with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with the abuse of the RICO statute. I'm done with it. All right? I'm done with it. And people want, and then they get mad and they say things about the president. Oh, he's a felon. He's a this. By your means? Because these are the same people. See, Diddy don't know the party he endorsed all these years is the same people who taking him down. Same with Kels. Then they were the ones who tried to go after Trump. And they couldn't get him. And he got convicted in New York, a Democratic state and city. And he's a Republican. And I'm supposed to believe he the criminal that y'all say, because you say it, after you lied about the state of the president's mind for 4 years? I'm done. And until next time, thank y'all for tuning into the channel Spitfire. Fire out.
He say, she say, we say, I say, hearing out them points of views when I see it my way. Yes it goes, yes it knows, maybe so's, probably not, shoulds and coulds, do's and don'ts, your woulds and won'ts is how you rock. Politicians and religions, on your house or are you renting? Is you married, is you single, meta interest when you mingle, turn out to be someone you into, so how long before the bed get wrinkled? Raise children when they tripping, is it time out or do you whip them? Opinions and decisions, hunches, intuitions, may or may not get it, cause people's experience different. Check the prejudice at the door. Speak the time you give the flow. Tell the truth if it's sweet or sour, cause the hour we spitting that fire.